The idea of Christian nationalism is the kind of, I would say, so for the sake of today, it's the unhealthy combining of faith and nation. Okay, the unhealthy combining of faith and nation. What I mean by that is people who say, Christianity is all about America, America is all about Christianity. They're kind of one in the same. And I would say that's unhealthy on so many different levels. Let me take it from the biblical theological level first. The biblical theology of this is that when Jesus came, he did not come to set up a Christian nation or a nation at all. In fact, he did come to set up a kingdom, but it was not a geopolitical kingdom, it was the kingdom of God. And you'll notice that when he called his disciples from all over the political spectrum. So at one end of the spectrum, you've got a guy like Matthew who worked for the Roman government, collecting taxes from his fellow Jews. At the other end, you've got Simon the Zealot, and Simon the Zealot was somebody who opposed the Roman government to the point that he was ready to kill Romans. And Jesus says, you and you, I want you both to be on my team. Why? Because Jesus was not aligning political interests. He was beginning a kingdom that from the ground up would be subversive to all political entities in the world. It would be a kingdom that would be based on love and reconciliation and loyalty to God. And from that point forward, no matter what nation you're a part of, you would be, as a Christian, you would say, my number one loyalty is to the kingdom of God. My home is not in the planet Earth. My home is in heaven, and my identity is there first before it's a part of any nation. Are you guys tracking with me on this so far? Okay, so what the mistake that so many Christian cultures have made over the years is they've combined Christianity in their government. And you can look at nations like Spain or England or other nations that have said, hey, let's take faith and government and marry them closely to one another. One of the interesting things I think about the founders of the United States is they said, that's not what we're trying to establish. The government is not trying to establish an authoritarian governmental structure, but we're here to give freedom to all different kinds of worship that would be involved in our country. Now, most of that was Christian, but it was Puritan and it was congregational and it was all different kinds of brands. So they said, as a government, we're not going to dictate what those things are, nor are we going to limit that. So there was not the establishment of a Christianity, even though most of the signers of the Declaration of Independence were passionate followers of Jesus and even pastors. They realized the dangers of combining faith and government. Why? Because when faith and government combine, it never goes well. Okay, can I say that again? When faith and government combine, it never goes well. Now, for people who are followers of Jesus, should we be involved in government? Should we be voting? Should we be influencing our culture? The answer is 100% yes. 100% yes. I pray for people to go in and influence all different arenas of our culture and to vote and to be people who are, like this ballot initiative, that are influencing salt and light in the culture. But we do this not by power over, we do it by power under. We do it by loving and by serving and by creating environments where people can flourish in Jesus. Now, the danger of that is making these things married too closely to one another and using power over, and yet as followers of Jesus, we are engaged in bringing power under. Does that make sense? You guys tracking with me on that? I'll do a better message on that someday that's a lot more full, but that gives you an idea of where we would be headed with that.